Alright, doing a review of City's games from the last week or so, including the Tottenham game and the Wolves game. Let's go. We start off with the Tottenham game. 2-0 down in the first half. But Ederson mistake for the first one, I'm pretty sure, and then 2-0 down straight away. Was not looking good for City at all, especially with the run of form we've been in recently. It just seemed inevitable that we had most of the ball against Spurs, but then we go 2-0 down. It's just a typical City game versus Spurs. But yeah, the first half wasn't too bad. Pep said it himself he wasn't... Was Pep angry at the first or second half? I wasn't sure, but yeah. First half wasn't too bad, it's just we didn't create anything really, did we? It's kind of been a run-of-the-mill recently. We just haven't been creating anything in any of the games. It was... Before the Spurs game, it was one shot on target in 2 games. And yeah, the first half against Spurs, we still didn't create anything, although we looked a little bit better on the ball. A madly changed team, like a 4-4-2 with Alvarez and Haaland up front. I think it was Ake at left back, Rico Lewis at right back. That sounds about right. But yeah, 4-4-2 with Grealish and Mahrez on the wings, Gundogan and Rodri in the middle. Kevin De Bruyne didn't even come on that game, I'm pretty sure. Pep really changed it up or kept it the same or just didn't bring back the big guns like we were expecting. 2-0 down at half-time against Spurs. Apparently he was very silent in the dressing room at half-time until Pep came in and talked his talk, I guess. But then 4 goals in the second half. Where the hell is that coming out of? I think, did Erling Haaland get the first to bring us back? Let me just check. No, Alvarez scored the first goal. Yeah, it was Gundogan jumping for a header, Jack Grealish in and about there as well, and Alvarez tapping home for the first goal. Erling Haaland with the second, and then Riyad Mahrez at the double. Yeah, he had a good game against Spurs. The first one was very good. That second half, especially from Riyad Mahrez, just constantly taking his man on, going at his man straight away, running down the lines almost. It was all Riyad Mahrez that we used to love to see. Jack Grealish did the same. Straight after half time, both of them, the first chance they got, they both went at their man straight away, dribbling at them, getting past them as well. Jack Grealish got past 2 men, I think. I was like, yeah, promising stuff for the second half. And yeah, boy was it promising. We scored 4 goals in a half. I don't know when's the last time we've done that. When's the last time we've scored 4 in a game? We used to batter teams like 5-6-0 on the regular. But 4-0 is probably our highest score. No, it's not. I think we beat Nottingham Forest 5-0, 5 or 6, 5-0, yeah. Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland also started that game, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. But yeah, 4 goals in the second half against a Spurs team we usually struggle against. There was a few times in the second half as well where they went on the counter-attack. I was like, oh, they're just going to ruin it for us now. But yeah, round up that Spurs game. Great second half. A lot of purpose in their play. That's the main thing I'm taking from that second half. Purpose in the play. First half, there was none. I think Pep saying after the Spurs game he'd lost the team, that he can't see the team that he used to coach. I think it's mainly because purpose in play. Players aren't playing with the right intensity. They don't know what they're doing with the ball, or they've no intensity to actually score. It's more about keeping hold of the ball and not actually playing with it. But in the second half, they played with it. Oh, did they play with it? 4 goals against a decent Tottenham Hotspur team. Well, decent against us anyway, but I really can't explain that, the difference between that first and second half. There was no well, I can. I think I can anyway. But tactically, there was no real change. It was just purpose, drive, and intensity in the play. That's the only difference. There was no tactical changes, no subs made, which was actually a bit of a surprise. It was just the intensity and purpose in play. And I'm wondering, is it a bit of a worry that there was no subs coming on? It's almost like Pep doesn't trust anyone on the bench now. You hear of the whole bust up in the club. Pep after the press conference. After the game, sorry. Pep's press conference after the game was legendary. It's one of his best, most intense press conferences or interviews post the game at City so far. But yeah, he was calling out everyone from the players to the whole organisation. Everyone just seems very cosy at the moment, and he's probably got a point. What, 4 titles in 5 years? Yeah, some players, some mentally average players would be nice and cushy, but we just don't seem to have maybe some mentally elite players. You see Real Madrid, 3 Champions Leagues in a row. I think they had 4 in 5 years as well. They won a few La Ligas in that time as well. They are mentally elite players. The likes of Luka Modric, Ronaldo, Benzema, Sergio Ramos. That core of players. Toni Kroos as well, Casemiro. Even just the way Casemiro transferred United. You can just tell with these mentally elite players. Maybe we're lacking a few at the club. Maybe that's what Pep was hinting at. Is he hinting that we need a refresh on the transfer market? Coming out today that loads of players want to leave. Should they leave? Should we get rid of them? My worry, if we get rid of them, we just won't replace them probably. That's my only stipulation about letting so many players go. But yeah, back to that Spurs game. Brilliant second half. Yeah, but you just wonder, is it a bit of a fluke, a one-off? Will we revert back to the games we've seen recently against Everton, against Southampton, against United? The first half in that Spurs game. But no, the game on Sunday against Wolves, 3-0, Erling Haaland hat-trick. Oh, we've waited for a while. for an Erling Haaland hat-trick. It's only his 4th in 19 games this season, but the play was a little bit better compared to the Spurs game, but it did take a while, 40th minute until Haaland got his first goal. Just a simple cross into the box. I think I called for it before, just hit it into Erling Haaland, let him cause some chaos. And look what he did, he got a goal with his head. That's he seems to have a bit of a 50p head now, and you don't know what his headers are going to be like, but yeah, scored with a header. Yeah, just a simple cross into the box. We just got to go route one sometimes, just a simple ball into Erling Haaland. Most of the time does the rest, and he finishes it off. But yeah, that one was key as well, putting pressure on Arsenal even though they won the game later on. Good game to be fair, but we have to just keep winning because Arsenal just keep winning. But that Wolves game, it just seems so much better. That second half as well. I think it was the second half. Actually, just the whole game to be fair. The players seemed to have a lot more purpose in it. Fairness, there was the goalkeeper that gave away one of the goals as well, and then a penalty as well. So I think Jack Grealish should have had a penalty in that game as well. I'm pretty sure. If it was that game or the Spurs game, Jack Grealish should have had a penalty recently. Just kicked the back of his calf and nothing happened. But yeah, another penalty in the Spurs game against Richarlison, handball maybe, not too sure. But the Wolves game good, 3-0. Although Wolves are fairly low on the table, we should be winning that game. But a 3-0 scoreline and a clean sheet. A clean sheet is what we've been missing for a long time. Forget the games against Chelsea because they're trash. It's been since like October or November time since we've kept a clean sheet. Very key for our defence. Nathan Ake is just proving his worth and proving why he starts every single game now. I'm starting to realise why he starts. Among the reasons the other players are just too soft and happy flowers, as Pep says. Nathan Ake plays like every challenge and every game is his last. They're Pep words now, not mine, but I see why he's playing now. He puts everything on the line. He defends like his life is on it. Yeah, I don't mind Ake in the team anymore. I have no real complaints unless someone comes in ahead of him and plays a lot better. Yeah, I can't really argue with him playing anymore really. But I think we need to find a good defensive pairing and just stick with it for the moment. It'll just make our play a lot more solid. Just having a standard back four that we play with. You see with Arsenal, you can name their 11 easily. What? Front line of Martinelli, Nketiah, Saka. Midfield of Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard. Back four of Zinchenko, Saliba, Gabriel and Ben White and Ramsdale and goal. That is their 11. No two ways about it. But see with this City side, you just don't know who their 11 is anymore. And we need a standard 11 sometimes just to get our confidence back, get a good structure going. I think I've said this in previous videos. And it seemed like that's going to happen like we've seen against Wolves. It's looking like Nathan Ake at left back, John Stones at centre back, Enrico Lewis at right back, and either one of Akanji, Diaz or Laporte is going to be in that back four along with John Stones. That seems to be the back four we're going with anymore. Probably not the best one to be fair. Rico Lewis got taken off. I don't know why that was to be honest, but John Stones went out to right back. We had 4 centre backs in our back four at the finish of the last game. What was it? It was John Stones right back, Nathan Ake left back, and Ruben Diaz and Laporte at centre back. Like, that's a bit mad, but yeah. Cut 3-0 win anyway. We got a two game winning streak now, coming off a 2 game losing streak. So yeah, we're slowly but surely getting back on track. Arsenal's up next in the FA Cup this week. I want us to go full strength. I need us to test how we do against them before the league, and if we need to change anything. Do Arsenal go full strength? I'm not too sure. They may just focus on the league, but they've had a whole week to rest anyway, but I think like a full week after, so they may go for it as well. I hope it's strong teams against strong teams, see how we do. So yeah, 4-2 win against Spurs, a 3-0 win against Wolves. Good week in the life for City, apart from the news that's come out today that everyone wants to leave. Who is it wants to leave? Laporte wants to leave, Silva wants to leave, Gundogan wants to leave, João Cancelo wants to leave, and Kyle Walker wants to leave. That's the most surprising. Gundogan's on a free contract anyway. He's out of contract. Bernardo's wanted to leave for ages now. Laporte kind of, but not as serious as Bernardo. João Cancelo, he's been kicking off a bit in the last couple of days. That's not new of a news. But Kyle Walker coming out, just that's the big news. I never expected him to leave because he's English as well. He probably wanted to stay in England, but who would he move to as an English team? Would he move to Man United? I don't think so. He wouldn't move to Arsenal. Who would really be interested? Maybe a Real Madrid or a Barcelona. Barcelona are definitely looking for a right back, that's for sure. Actually, apparently, according to Jose Alvarez, who's a complete waffler, what he said the other day. He said Gundogan had agreed a deal with Barca already, and that just turned out to be waffle. Sadly said Gundogan's in talks with City to extend his contract, but now Jose Alvarez says they all Barcelona are interested in all 5 of those. Like, get out of here, fool. He's just waffling. Although Laporte may be his source. He's what Aguero used to be his source at City, and I think maybe Laporte might be his source now. So maybe the Laporte one is right, but the rest of them, I'm not believing them. Especially Kyle Walker. I ain't believing that. Kyle Walker, I think, will eventually get back in the team. João Cancelo, he's apparently thrown his toys out of the pram. So results-wise, it's been good for City in the last week, but on a player-wise, especially with Pep calling them all out and the organisation, it's a bit I'm not too sure on that one. But results-wise, we're kind of getting back on track. I wish we just had an easier game to get the form going, but Arsenal on Friday, that's going to be a hard one. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, 2 good wins in the last week. An Erling Haaland hat-trick. You love to see it. Riyad Mahrez banging in form. Jack Grealish still keeping up his decent form. Riyad Mahrez is on smoke at the moment, and I hope he just keeps going. Haaland back in the multiple goals. When he only scores 1 goal, it's not really to shout home about, but back home with the multiple goals, destroying the league as usual. Yeah, good week for City results-wise. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on City the past week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.